Hey guys, welcome back to our baby life. Today we're doing a different kind of video. We're going to do like a get to know us video since the channel is new-ish, newly consistent. So we thought it would be fun to do this video just for all of our new subscribers and for everyone just kind of get to know who we are. I thought we'd start with just kind of a general synopsis, a general overview of, I guess, where we at now, mostly. Like, where are we now? Do you want to go ahead and fill them in?
Where are we now? So right now, we're in our house, but we're kind of, it's chaotic. Just because we're cleaning the house up, getting ready to head back up to the East Tennessee mountains, the beautiful Smoky Mountains. If you've ever been there, it's amazing. And we're going back up in our RV for basically the year to explore and look for land to get where we can build a house out in this beautiful rural mountain setting, and that's kind of like the vision that we want to create for our lives.
And we have little Zia. Zia is our only child. She's three and a half actually now. And she's just a cutie pie, but she is also a very
she's a cyclone.
she's a very high
energy and high needs,
highly sensitive little sweetheart. And we've done one video on that when she was much younger, when she was a baby, and I'm actually intending to do another updated for toddler years, and just all the knowledge that I've gained since then. So
because I think it's important.
Click the subscribe button so you see when that one comes out, because that's the high needs baby one is I think it's the most popular video that we've made so far.
And I think it's important because obviously we don't talk about it all the time online because we just don't want to give, all parents have it challenging. So we don't want to necessarily be like, oh, like poor us, but we just want to share at the same time that the situations that we face.
So other people can relate to it.
Yeah, so you don't think we're just superhuman or, Z is perfect all the time. I mean, she's perfect in a sense that she's just a toddler, having the full spectrum of emotions, and then it's our job to kind of navigate that and help her navigate that as well. So
I think that's a good overview. Let's get into the questions. So we asked you guys on Instagram and Facebook to submit a couple of questions for us. If we didn't get to your question, apologies, we'll do this again soon. First one, how do you manage sleep as a family and bedtime routines, etc.? So that is definitely a lot of parents like to hear that from other parents because it's always a bit of a challenge. We'll dedicate a whole video to this because it's a lot to go through. But basically,
let me just give a quick summary.
Quick summary. Routines are important. Like, you have to give them a routine. A visual routine has really helped her to be able to see what's coming up, and it just makes it more fun for her.
I find like Lauren was saying, having a routine where you slowly wind things down. Like if you get them outside, get them to play, you don't want to be going straight from playing or watching some highly charged kids program or something very stimulating to bed. And so we dim all the lights, we get sort of warm red tones, some red light, we slow things down, we put on some calm music, we just kind of down regulate everything.
Yes, you have to have healthy routines, and
yourself.
You have to consistently do that with them as well, and prioritize it. Like, even if it sounds 100%. Crazy, if it sounds over the top, when you become a parent, you have to do those things because sleep is so important for them. Like, their moods are going to be better when they sleep better. It's something that we are always trying to help her with. She's never been a great sleeper. So it's something that we've really worked on, and we have to work on all the time and be consistent with that to help her function at her best. All right, next question. When you were both kids, what were your dream jobs? Fraser hasn't seen these questions, I don't think.
No, that's funny. I had two things. One was I wanted to be an archaeologist because I was obsessed with dinosaurs, dinosaur bones in Jurassic Park, and so that was one thing. And then the other thing that was weird was I wanted to be, I think it's called an entomologist, where there's people who study insects. That was really weird too. Like, I had a fascination with insects as well. So those were the two things that I wanted to do: insects and dinosaurs.
I don't feel like I really had a dream job. I mean, I went through a few phases of things that I was like, ooh, I might want to do this. And mine are kind of unique as well. So at one time, everybody always told me like, oh, you should be a vet because I love animals. But I never really wanted to be a vet because, I just love animals. I love to love on them, and I couldn't do the hard part of being a vet. Things that I wanted to do when I was a kid was, I went through a phase where I thought I would like to be a cartoonist. I really enjoyed drawing cartoons, like cartoon people and animals and things like that. And then another thing that I really was interested in was I thought maybe I would want to be a meteorologist because I loved like weather and weather patterns in the sky and all sorts. And I always was into like even the stars and constellations and astrology.
Even you're obsessed with the moon.
Yeah.
Now, so.
Yeah, those are the two things that stand out that I remember. Next up, do you plan to homeschool Zia?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're both in alignment with that. My perspective is I want to equip Zia with skills that I think will be useful for her as an adult. And I think a lot of that is entrepreneurial skills, communication, selling, how to look for opportunities in the world, and to not just necessarily fit this rigid box of education that I struggle with personally. Someone who, as a kid, when I had ADHD and I struggled at school. I struggled to learn in the conventional system, and then you don't get good grades and you think that something is wrong with you when in actuality you might just not do well with that modality. So 100% we want to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And especially like when we traveled, we don't travel as much now since COVID happened, but before we were traveling a lot and we wanted to be able to show her all of that and have like learning experiences along the way of all of that. And also like what you mentioned is a good point, especially for her personality and the challenges that she has. I feel like sitting her in a traditional school would just break her character, and like I definitely don't want to do that. It does that for so many kids, and I don't want, I want her to learn in creative ways that's good for her and that works with her. I do follow a bit of like a Montessori approach, which one of the main things of Montessori is follow the child. You're following their interests, and then you're just providing opportunities for them and materials for them to engage with and learn from, whatever their interests are. We did try her temporarily when we were living in New Zealand. We tried her in a Montessori school, which I was really excited for her to try out because I wanted her to have the experience of being with the other kids and having access to all of like the really cool Montessori materials, and having most of all a truly Montessori trained guide. They don't even call them teachers. So yeah, we tried her in a Montessori school, but she had a big problem with separation anxiety, which is to be expected.
And we were only there for a few months too.
Yeah, she wasn't even 3 at the time. So to expect a young child to just be okay with like being without mom for a long period of time when she had never been she's never been with family away from mom or anything like that. Like she's always been just part of our lifestyle because we travel and stuff. It's it's the 3 of us mostly as a unit, and she's really used to that. So okay, I think we'll do one more, and this will be a juicy one. How did you and Lauren meet? I could do a whole video on this. Like I love telling the story because I find it hilarious. Do you have a shorter version? You start with the short version, and then I'll add in all the juicy details.
Yeah, so we were both in the fitness space before I came over here from New Zealand. There was a fitness post that someone had posted, and there it was like we connected, and then I think we just sort of realized we were in some of the same fitness circles and groups and in the same online spaces basically.
But this was before the online dating. This was 10 years ago.
It was normal.
We met on Facebook just because we happened to follow the same fitness person.
And her grandmother was worried I was going to be a serial killer.
Well, of course. I mean, imagine 10 years ago, you meet someone online from another country and you're like, oh, they're going to come over here and stay with me. I was like, oh, God. Yeah. We met in the comment section because we were both kind of defending someone and like just trying to defend kindness. It was like immediate like connection on compassion. And then, I clicked on his profile and I was like, oh, he's cute, he's cute. And I don't remember who friended who, but we became friends on Facebook. At
a certain point, Lauren will probably tell you, it was funny, like she must have unfriended me or something because you had a boyfriend at the time and there's a whole thing issue there. And I didn't know because, we were just kind of like, it was just like, distant sort of connection on Facebook.
Kind of like following on Instagram. You friended them because you wanted to see more about them and like see who they were and watch their pictures and whatnot. Yeah. But I was in a relationship at the time with a guy who lived with me, and it was a very, very bad situation type of relationship. And it came down to it. It was really funny because as soon as Fraser and I friended each other on Facebook, if you guys even know Fraser to this day, like he likes and hearts everything. This was the day before there were other like emoticon or emotion things you could use. It was just the thumbs up. Just
anyone I see doing something positive or like trying to do something that's...
He literally scrolls his feed, just like scroll, double tap,
Yeah.
like everything. He's hearting and liking everybody and everything. But back in the day, I guess that was not as common. So whenever I would post something, he would like it. And so of course that triggered the guy that I was dating at the time. He was like, and it became like this joke in our house because he would just tease me like all throughout the day of anything that was going on. He'd be like, Fraser, and he called you Fraser, so Fraser Bailey likes this, and he would do this even, Fraser Bailey likes this, and it became a joke. So he kind of made it worse because then it stuck out in my head. Because at this point, Fraser and I had not spoken, like we had not had like any direct message or anything. It was just like friend each other so that we could watch each other's stuff. Yeah, he kind of exacerbated the issue unintentionally. And because it was a bad situation, one day he got really drunk and he got really angry and had all this jealousy over it. And I was like, I have not even spoken to this person. I don't know the person. He lives across the world. Like, you're making a big deal out of nothing. I got really angry about it and literally even like broke my laptop over it. And I was like, if it's that big of a problem for you, just unfriend him. Like, I don't care. I don't know the guy. I don't even talk to him. We're just friends on Facebook. So yeah, he unfriended him, blocked him, all of those things from my account. Then it was probably 6 months to a year later, I finally got out of that bad situation, got out of that relationship. And so this is where it comes full circle. Because he had made such a big deal out of it with his Fraser Bailey likes this all the time, I remembered the dude's name. So after I got out of that relationship, I was like, I'm gonna go find this guy again. So I looked him up on Facebook, and that's when I refriended him. And then because of, you know what it's like. If you unfriend someone and then you refriend them, that's just weird. Yeah. So then I had to message him and explain, hey, this is what happened. Like, that's why I unfriended you and why I'm refriending you. So he was like, oh yeah, I kind of figured something like that. So then there was a private message dialogue that had become. And we probably talked like every single day after that. Yeah. And Fraser really like helped me through the whole breakup process, which was involved like, restraining orders and court dates and all sorts of shenanigans. Yeah. When
she reconnected with me, that's when we really started to talk more and more. And I was in a place where I just like really was working on myself. I'd stopped doing all the crazy things that I did in my youth, and I just was working on myself. And so I had a lot of like time to myself, and so we connected, and it came a point in time where I thought to myself, I really appreciate who this person is on the inside. I really value them, and what is stopping me from coming over here and just seeing what could come of that. And worst case scenario, I come over and it doesn't work, or it's not meant to be, or whatever, and then I just head back, and at least I know, and at least we tried. But best case scenario is I come over and everything changes. And fast forward almost 10 years now, it's an example of how everything can change. Like, our lives are completely radically different because of that decision. And that really, I think, reminds me to take big leaps into the unknown in all things. You can see that, that with my personality. I'm kind of the person who I just like leap into things. But I do it because I feel like once you've done it once and it's paid off to such a big extent, you build confidence that you can do it in all areas. So it was it's been a crazy journey. So
came over on a visitor visa, which gives him 3 months in the country. And literally, like, when he came over, it was like we had known each other forever. It felt like he had just been away for a while and was coming home. As soon as we just like met each other in the airport, it wasn't like weird or like, hi, nice to meet you. Like, it wasn't awkward. It was just like we knew each other, and yeah, he was just coming home. So
I think part of that was just being like so open and honest beforehand, that it wasn't like we created this sort of false illusion of who we were before we met. It was just like full transparency, and like I remember sometimes we would Skype and Lauren would just be sitting on the bed like folding her laundry and just it was just very like there wasn't any sort of like stagedness to it, so and that's it's almost 10 years now.
Yeah, so towards the end of that 3 months, we couldn't imagine like him going back and being apart for a long time. So we went to the beach and we got married. Yeah. And then he stayed here, and we've been together it's been 10 years since we've met and all that. Well, it'll be our 10-year wedding anniversary this summer. So,
Wow.
Alright guys, so that's it for today. Yeah, a little story time. I love story time. And if you guys have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below. I know many of you here on YouTube will have questions because we didn't ask for questions on YouTube yet. And we only touched on a few. So leave your questions in the comments below, and we'll do another one of these in a few weeks, few months time, and dig into some more deep dive stuff. If you guys are curious as well about like our health routines and our diet and stuff, because that's a big part of what we do. That's our business. Our other business is Bedrock, so you can follow that channel if you want, if you're not following over there as well.
Maybe even put that channel in the description.
Yeah, I'll put a link somewhere in the video or in the description down below, because we're doing 1 video a week over there as well, and 3 videos every week here for 2022. So really excited about that.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll talk to you guys again soon. We'll see you soon in the next video. Bye!